Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you once again for tuning in and for joining the Controversy 7. Now, this is going to be a short, quick commentary. Honestly, I don't buy this whole I honestly, when I think about it, I don't know if I fully buy this whole North Korea versus America thing. I honestly don't know if I fully believe that to be some type of, if it was an actual, real threat, or if maybe this was a distraction, or if maybe this was simply a forecast or a precursor to something big that's planned ahead of time for us, for the whole world. Because this, all of us has been anticipating, many people have been watching all throughout the world, tensions have been high between the nations. China was warning, basically giving a deep warning, saying that a war is about to start at any time. And so when you begin to think about these things, you have to ask the question, it's like, what exactly is going on? Right? And so now my personal opinion, I honestly feel as if this was a distraction, or if it is a precursor, or maybe even it's one thing that's now going to lead to security measures to be heightened. And so when you begin to have these kinds of threats, because now it's a threat, right? Now there's pretty much, it's almost like now there's a threat. Now tensions are high within between these countries. So now what's going to happen? Well, ultimately it's going to boil down to security. The United States is going to have to beef up its security. Whether that security also is going to affect, let's say, people who are coming through, let's say people who want to come to America. Of course, obviously, it has to do with immigration issues. And of course, Donald Trump has begun to set the stage pretty much to start blocking out who can come to America and who cannot come to America. But nonetheless, with increased security, what does that mean? Well, increased security means decreased, right? Or the decreased, basically, freedom. Because you can't have freedom and security at the same time. Because you increase the security, you're going to have to take away some rights and freedoms away, right? Or privacy, should I say. And so it's the same thing, just like what happened during 9/11. You had a 9/11, it was an event that was orchestrated. The Twin Towers were brought down, and people actually were saying that they were willing to give up some of their freedoms, and they were willing to give up some of their privacies just so that they can feel safe. But now here we are in 2017, threat level has increased. Now it's something that's on a worldwide scale, and everybody is now talking. Tensions are high. What's about to happen? Honestly, I feel like this is a precursor to something that's about to happen, but at the same time, it is something that also is leading to high security measures that's going to have to be implemented on the land. On whether that be on the US soil or every other nation, who knows, but there's high security measures that's about to be implemented, and you guys better be ready for these things. And whether that's going to involve the changing of identification cards, that's something that's also going to affect you, because now, hey, it's going to have to come to the point where you are going to easily, or you need some type of a proper identification to identify who you are, as far as like what nation. And of course, today you still have your legal documentation, you have your ID cards and stuff. But guess what? We're moving towards a time where these cards which you are holding, which you pull out from your wallet and you'll display it wherever you go, even your passports, all of these things are seeing their last days. They are going to be, they're getting rid of these, right? They're introducing new security measures that's going to involve the implantation of microchips in your arms. That's something that they are introducing. Now, this is something that I'm not going to mention in this video, because I'm doing a video following this that's going to talk about these microchips. So you got to think about what exactly, it's almost as if they need an excuse. They need something that will be able to that will allow them to pretty much get to a point where they say, okay, enough is enough. Let's increase security. Because right now the threat level is high. But hey, who knows? That's just my own opinion on this. I honestly feel like this whole thing was a distraction. It just so happened to fail. The nuclear missile test just happened to fail. It's almost as if it was meant to fail when you carefully examine this, right? Just think about what we're dealing with. Also, the events outlined within, the events outlined within Homefront, I showed many of you. in that movie Homefront, or I mean in the video game Homefront, I've shown you guys how the events were pretty much a direct reflection of what we were seeing taking place between North Korea and the United States of America. Here's a scenery that also I'm going to share with you. Observe this scenery from Homefront. You see, Homefront, they depicted North Korea launching a nuclear weapon that basically was capable of shutting down the entire United States grid, the US power grid. And guess what? The news, there's also a news report that just happened to say that North Korea had the capability of destroying the US power grid. The ironies of it. Can you see the irony of this? Very interesting. It's almost as if everything, you see, when these events are happening just as it's outlined in some stories of these by these video game creators, it's as if they have some type of an inside knowledge that they are able to give a hint as to where the world is heading in the near future, or it's as if they have some type of a knowledge, some inside knowledge, just like the Simpsons writers. It's as if they have inside knowledge as to who or what is or who controls things and what is about to take place. They just happen to have this knowledge. If 9/11 was something that was well known and it was carefully orchestrated and even was an inside job, what makes you think that Homefront, that video game Homefront, predicting what took place between North Korea and the United States, what are the chances that that also was not something that was carefully orchestrated to distract the mass public to look into that, so that it will scare them to the point where they're going to demand for higher security measures, because now you've got the thesis and antithesis, and now the reaction is going to go back to the people who started this problem, so that they can be able to have some type of a solution. And then hopefully you can be able to move towards a new world system of order. Think about what we're dealing with. That's exactly what we're seeing here. But then again, hey, that's just my own thoughts on this, right? You could, I think it's valid. You know, I am a huge skeptic about all of this, but nonetheless, you can't. There's a lot to talk about on this, but hey, nonetheless, I'm moving on towards the microchip, unless it's very interesting about what's taking place. I'm saying all of this for a reason. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in and for joining me. If this is your first time tuning in, be sure to subscribe and feel free to join me on Patreon. My links are in the video description box. And also feel free to join me on Facebook. My links are in the video description as well. Feel free to also go on my website, www.thecontroversy7.ca. Other than that, I'm not going to hold you off. You take care of yourselves, be safe, and I'll see you guys next time.